It's 3 a.m. The world is silent, the house is dark, and for some reason, your brain chooses this exact moment to turn into a TED Talk, a psychological thriller, and a productivity boot camp, all at once. Some people toss and turn. Some go deep into mental rabbit holes they never wanted. Others suddenly become gourmet chefs, philosophers, or emotional detectives. But here's the plot twist. How you handle late-night sleeplessness isn't random. Your personality type plays a huge role in what keeps you awake and what chaos unfolds next. Tonight we're diving into all 16 MBTI types and how each one spirals, copes, or accidentally thrives during those cursed 3 a.m. awakenings. Who's overthinking? Who's doom-scrolling? Who's reorganizing their entire life? And who's making it everyone else's problem? Quick disclaimer, these are fun, exaggerated generalizations, not clinical diagnoses. But if a type calls you out, yeah, that's between you and your nighttime brain goblin. If you love scarily accurate MBTI breakdowns, personality deep dives, and videos that make you laugh, wince, and whisper, "Oh my god, that is literally me," hit like, tap subscribe, and drop your type in the comments below. Here at Personality IRL, we don't just talk types, we decode what makes them tick, and why some of them are still awake right now. Alright, let's turn on the nightlight and peek into the minds that refuse to sleep. These four want to sleep, they plan to sleep, but when their brains refuse, it becomes a personal battle between human and mind. It's 3 a.m. and the ISTJ has been awake for 5 minutes, long enough to reflect on every unfinished task from the past 12 years. They stare at the ceiling going, did I lock the door? Did I reply to that email? What if I didn't save that document properly? Should I go check? No, but also yes. Eventually, they get up, check everything, and return to bed with the satisfaction of a security guard finishing their rounds. The ISTJ doesn't want chaos. They want closure. And until their brain feels things are in order, sleep isn't happening. The ESTJ wakes up and immediately enters PowerPoint mode. Okay, if I fall asleep now, I'll get 3 hours and 27 minutes. That's enough to still function, unless I wake up again. Should I get ahead on tomorrow's tasks? Should I reorganize my plans? They're seconds away from opening a spreadsheet. For an ESTJ, insomnia is not an emotional experience. It's a logistical problem to solve. And yes, they absolutely judge the moon for being inefficient. An INTJ at 3 a.m. is dangerous, not to others, but to their own peace. Their brain quietly whispers, what if you're not optimizing your life correctly? What if there's a better long-term strategy you haven't considered? Should you reevaluate your entire 5-year plan at this exact moment? Suddenly, they've thought through an entire new career path, 3 business ideas, and a better system for humanity. They don't mean to stay awake, but world domination doesn't schedule itself. The ENTJ doesn't try to stay awake. Their brain simply says, hey, you're awake. Might as well build a company. Within minutes, they're sketching plans, typing notes, or pacing like a CEO on a conference call only they can hear. They know they need sleep, but they also know this random burst of 3 a.m. clarity is terrifyingly powerful. They'll sleep later. For now, they've got empires to outline. The planners struggle because their minds want order, but the next group, their minds want meaning. These types don't just lose sleep, they feel it deeply. When the ISFJ wakes up at 3 a.m., it's because their brain remembered something emotional from 6 months ago. Did I say something awkward at that birthday party? I hope my friend wasn't upset. Should I check on someone? Should I send a message? No, it's too late. But maybe I should think about it until morning. They try to self-soothe, breathing carefully, but their mind insists on replaying every scenario where they might have let someone down. Eventually, they fall asleep again, exhausted from caring so much. An INFJ awake at 3 a.m. isn't stressed, they're introspective. They stare into the dark like a mystic pondering humanity. What is my purpose? Am I living authentically? Is the world okay? Am I okay? Is everyone else okay? Then comes the emotional flashbacks, intuitive insights, and sudden realizations that could fill a journal. By 4 a.m., they've mentally solved someone else's emotional crisis, written a novel in their head, and predicted 3 major life patterns. Sleep? It'll come after the existential revelations stop, which might be never. The ISFP wakes up and immediately tunes into their feelings like a radio station. Why do I feel sad? Why do I feel inspired? Why do I feel anything right now? Aesthetic thoughts rush in. They start imagining new art projects, rearranging the room in their head, or scrolling through photos that spark emotions. If they actually get up, they might light a candle, bake something, or write poetry. Their insomnia turns into a mini creative retreat. An INFP awake at 3 a.m. is both magical and chaotic. They start by wondering why they can't sleep. Then they remember a dream, then a memory, then a person, then a hypothetical situation that never happened but still hurts. Within minutes, they're emotionally invested in a story arc that exists entirely in their imagination. The INFP will eventually fall asleep, but only after making peace with 47 feelings at once. The feelers get lost in emotion, but the next 4, they get lost in chaos. Ah yes, the types who make 3 a.m. feel like a side quest. The ESTP wakes up and immediately thinks, I'm bored. They turn on their phone, watch videos, get a snack, reorganize something small, and suddenly it's 4:12 a.m. and they're watching skydiving documentaries. If they can't sleep, they simply move. They treat insomnia like an adventure to explore. And honestly, they kind of enjoy it. The ESFP didn't mean to stay awake, but once they are, it becomes a party for one. They put on music, scroll through aesthetic content, text people who are also up, and consider making pancakes. Before they know it, they've curated a whole vibe in the middle of the night. At least insomnia is fun, until morning arrives. The ENTP wakes up and their brain goes, hey, I just invented something. Suddenly they're brainstorming, researching, questioning reality, designing a new app, debating with imaginary opponents, and maybe starting a YouTube channel. They don't just stay awake, they thrive in the delirium. Sleep? Overrated when you're building empires of chaos. The ENFP at 3 a.m. is a mix of inspiration, anxiety, and 12 open tabs. They think about a conversation they had earlier. Then they get a new idea for their future. Then they feel inspired to improve their life. Then they worry about not sleeping. Their mind becomes a sparkly carnival of feelings, dreams, fears, and fantasies. And yet, they'll still wake up optimistic. The action types chase stimulation, but the last group, they chase understanding. These types try to keep balance even when sleep fails. When the ISTP wakes up at 3 a.m., they start troubleshooting themselves like a machine. Why am I awake? Is it my pillow? Room temperature? Digestive system? Let's isolate the variables. They might adjust the blanket 37 times, flip the pillow twice, and try 4 sleeping positions. Then they calmly accept it, grab a drink of water, and fall asleep like nothing happened. Efficiency at its finest. The INTP wakes up and immediately thinks, I wonder how black holes actually work. Then they spend 45 minutes scrolling through scientific articles, watching obscure videos, and constructing a mental model of the universe. They forget they were trying to sleep, they forget the time, they forget everything but the thought loop they're now committed to. Next thing they know, the sun is rising. ENFJs at 3 a.m. don't worry about themselves, they think about everyone else. Is my friend okay? Did my sister sound stressed? Should I message someone? Should I plan something to help them tomorrow? They rehearse conversations, imagine solutions, and try to analyze the emotional health of their entire social circle. Eventually, they get tired again, not from insomnia, but from empathy fatigue. ESFJs wake up because their inner alarm clock senses something, a noise, a light, the vibe shifting. They get up to check on things, making sure the doors are locked, the room temperature is right, the kids are okay, and nothing is out of place. If the house is fine, they go back to bed satisfied. If not, they fix it before anyone else even stirs. Their sleeplessness is never wasted. They restore order before dawn breaks. So, Which type of 3 a.m. thinker are you? The planners overanalyze, the feelers overfeel, the seekers overstimulate, the harmonizers overprocess. Every type loses sleep differently, because every mind dances with its own kind of midnight chaos. Now it's your turn. Drop your MBTI type in the comments and tell us, what keeps you up at 3 a.m.? If this video made you laugh, nod, or feel personally attacked by your own nighttime thoughts, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive into the psychology behind the moments we all share. Here at Personality IRL, we shine a light on every quirk, every habit, every insight that makes each type unique, even the ones that only show up when the rest of the world is asleep. Now close your eyes, relax your mind, and hopefully you won't be awake at 3 a.m. tonight thinking about this video. But if you are, come back and watch it again. Good night or good morning, depending on how your sleep is going.